Freya's Pavi. Since the end of our engagement party until the day of their wedding day, I haven't heard or seen anything from Quentin. I tried to call him, but his phone is always turned off. I know he's avoiding me for reasons that I have no idea of. I thought we're okay that night, but after he talked with Tyler, he changed again. He must have believed whatever lies she told him. The wedding day has come. Quentin is just a few rooms away from me in their villa on a private island owned by his family. This time, they decided to hold it away from the public to make the ceremony more solemn and intimate. We're practically living inside the same house, but never once did he come knocking on my door. He could have just texted or called me, but I received nothing. I'm feeling jittery, and there are a few hours left before the wedding. So I visited the beach front to condition my mind. Hugging myself against the cold, wild afternoon wind, I contemplated if I should really marry Quentin. At the end of the day, I'll still console myself believing that it's for the better, but who am I kidding? I smiled sadly and sat on the sand while talking to myself. I want to marry him not because I want to be an obedient daughter, but because I love him. I love Quentin so much, I'm willing to accept everything in him as long as I'm by his side. I filled my lungs with fresh, salty air and went back into my room. I was just anxious. It's just wedding blues and it's normal. Eat with renewed strength. I went back into my room to get ready, but my mind took a reroute and turned towards Quentin's room. I decided that I have to talk to him first before the wedding ceremony. I raised my hand to knock only to realize that someone left the door ajar.
Quentin's poov.
Please, Quent. I'm begging you. Stop this wedding and run away with me now.
Tyler is on her knees begging me to run away with her today to avoid my own wedding.
Please, Quent. You love me and I love you. People who love each other should be together. Come with me, Quent. Let's leave this place now.
Her face is marred with tears and smudges of mascara, and the way she held my hand with her trembling hand made me lose my mind. I wanted to say yes to her right now, but the responsibility of being a black and a man weighs more than my love for her. Tyler, please, don't do this. You know I can't turn my back on this marriage anymore. It's too late. I really have to marry Freya later.
No, you're just confused, Quent. You don't like her. I'm the one you love. I'm the one you promised to be with. You're letting your parents' decision take the better of you.
I sighed. Tyler is right. From the very start, I'm conflicted about marrying Freya. There's no love between us, not even familiarity. She's a stranger to me. But I said yes already to my family in front of her family. I gently reached for her hand to emphasize my point that there is no future between us when the door suddenly swung open.
Freya's PV, my eyes popped open in disbelief upon seeing two people deep in talking. Tyler is inside crying and Quentin is holding her hand like he's pacifying her. My voice trailed. I entered the room without knocking since it's already opened. I'm sorry, it's my bad. You can continue talking. I was about to go out of the door when Tyler stood up and pointed at me.
Quentin will never, ever love you, Freya. He will never want you as much as he wants me. I'm the only one he will ever love. You understand me? You will never have a spot in his heart, so don't you dare dream of stealing him away from me.
Tyler, that's enough. Freya, I'm so sorry. She's just too emotional right now. She doesn't mean it.
She doesn't mean it. Tyler means it with all of her heart. If so, what's the purpose of this marriage if I can't have the loyalty of my husband? Because Tyler will always be there to harass us. You didn't contact me nor return my calls, I said calmly, looking at Quentin, trying to keep my emotions at bay.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking.
Thinking? I nodded. If you're thinking of stopping this wedding, then I'm all in. Quent, if you're having the slightest doubt, then it's a sign that we should not pursue this marriage after all. I don't deserve this, you know.
No, Freya. We will marry each other today. Our families expected us to do this. We've weathered those past issues behind us. We're stronger now. We need to do this for the sake of our parents. We can't afford to disappoint them again.
I swallowed the acid on my throat upon the mention of our parents. I almost forgot about the reason why we're doing this in the first place. He's right. It's for our families. Nothing more, nothing else.
I can't make you go against the wishes of your parents, Freya. We have to do this.
Tyler stayed by Quentin's side, just gawking at him in disbelief. I bet she wanted to say something, but is restraining herself. You're right. This wedding is for them, I agreed weakly. It will always be for our parents, Quint. I tried hard not to sound hurt or sarcastic, but I guess Tyler didn't miss that. Expect me later. Excuse me. With a bleeding heart, I walked out of the door and went straight into my room to collect myself.
Quentin's poured.
Quentin, what are you doing?
Tyler squirmed in frustration.
She wanted you to end this wedding. You should have agreed.
I told you it's too late, Tyler. Everything has been said.
Wait, don't tell me you were starting to lie.
No, I abruptly cut her off. I'm just being an obedient son, Tyler. I'm doing this to fulfill my grandmother's wish, not because I really want to marry her.
Is this what I really want? Do I really want to be trapped in a loveless marriage like some obsessed fan, weaving imagination that Quentin will pour out his affection on me? The thought has been going on around my head for quite some time now, despite Quentin being adamant to continue the wedding. I thought I have solved this personal strife I have with the situation, that I am resolute enough to offer myself up in the marriage just because I love him. Loving him is enough. As long as I love him, it will work, but would it really? What if it won't? Will I just plunge myself into a lifetime of despair? But when the stakes are higher in the form of my emotional and mental fortitude, would it be really worth it to risk my all for a love that would always belong to Tyler? Doubts filled my head incessantly as the hands of the clock tick. The time is nearing, closing into the moment that will seal or break our future. Witnessing how he interacts with Tyler, how he loves her, how he cares for her crumbles my confidence regarding this setup. Tyler will always be the other woman. The woman who could have been the wife, the third person in this marriage. She is his mate. They're bonded while me and Quentin barely have any connection.
The bride will now walk.
It said the wedding coordinator and signaled me to start walking. The orchestra started playing in the background as I heaved a long breath and marched in a sea of flowers by the beach that serves as the aisle. The long train of my princess cut, wedding gown swaying in the wind and dancing with the bubbles in the air that enchanted the guests in awe. Quentin is standing on the altar waiting for me in his expensive tailored suit. His hair is brushed up while his hands are inside his pockets, his eyes twinkling in admiration as he stares at me. When his eyes met mine, the doubts inside my head dissipated into thin air. His gaze focused on the star-shaped diamond ring on my hand, his mouth twitching into a proud smile, gripping the bouquet on both of my hands. I've always wondered how he has this kind of effect on me. When I was young, I was like all the other werewolf girls, excited to meet their own mates and alphas. But one day I saw Quentin roughly playing rugby with his friends in a field, and I felt that sudden burst of energy around him. My heart throbbed, my blood rushed. Finally, I found my mate, but to my dismay, Quentin didn't feel the same adrenaline rush. The bond is not mutual. Since then, Quentin Black has been my harbinger of happiest and painful moments. But judging from the turn of events, I think I'm making the right choice. How can I think that this won't work when I haven't tried making it work? I'll try and then I'll see it for myself. It's too early to throw a white towel. Love is a game of chances. If I don't take a risk, nothing will happen.
You're beautiful.
Quentin whispered in my ear when he held my hand after my parents entrusted me to him. Thank you, I shyly said, my cheeks flaming. Hand in hand, we faced the elder priest of the clan and the official ceremony of the wedding began.
Beloved, we are gathered here today in the spirit of the moon goddess to witness the union of Quentin from the house of Blacks and Frey, from house of McKennas.
I, Quentin Black, from the House of Black take Freya McKenna of the House of McKennas as my wife and official mate to cherish and bond. I will never reject nor forsake you. I will protect and love you till eternity. If I fail to do my duty and responsibility, I shall receive the punishment befitting that of a traitor to the moon and to the clan.
With so much tenderness, Quentin slipped the ring into my finger next to my white diamond engagement ring while we were locked in a gaze. Overjoyed and lost by the energy that suddenly enveloped us. I, Freya McKenna, from the House of McKennas, take Quentin Black of the House of Black as my husband and official mate to cherish and bond. I will never reject nor forsake you. I will protect and love you till eternity. If I fail to do my duty and responsibility, I shall receive the punishment befitting that of a traitor to the moon and to the clan. I recited the vow and took his finger to slide the ring beside the blue diamond engagement ring that I got for him. The rings now adorned our fingers, a sign of the completion of the ceremony, a promise that we will stand by each other no matter what happens. We are now wife and husband, blessed by the ancestors to continue our lineage of power and business.
By the powers of the moon goddess vested on me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Husband, you may now kiss your wife.
We exchanged smiles. Mine was nervous. I thought I heard him chuckle before he swooped in for a gentle kiss, closing my eyes and putting my hands on his shoulders. I responded intensely. It's my choice to be Mrs. Black, and I will stand by this choice no matter what. The applause and celebration by our loved ones by the union erupted, but was drowned out by someone's shriek at the top of lungs.
Tyler.
Lucian's loud voice echoed against the waves. Quentin abruptly halted the kiss.
Tyler.
He murmured. In a great hurry, he left me alone in the altar and ran towards Tyler, who laid there on the sand unconscious. The guests scrambled toward them, curious and worried of what happened while I was pushed back in the corner alone and feeling left out on the day of my own wedding. Watching how Quentin forgot my presence in the middle of it all is horribly painful. I've never felt this pain in my lifetime. It's like someone stabbed me in my chest and ripped open my heart. The feeling is heart-wrenching, and I couldn't even do something to alleviate the ache. Freya's plod, while they're busy attending to Tyler. I slowly retreated in the back of the scuffle to collect myself. I smiled and nodded to guests who came my way to ask if I'm doing okay despite the sudden unexpected disturbance. For every concerned question, I managed to assure them that the overall well-being of Tyler is more important than the event. While Scott, Lucian, and Quinn scrambled to Tyler's aid, I stood there beside our parents just watching how my now husband looked so worried with his ex-girlfriend. My doubts returned, which I tried to shake off by thinking that this is out of our hands. I should not be even entertaining thoughts like this when Quentin just acted on his altruistic side to help Tyler. But who am I kidding? Quentin is Quentin. He always belonged to Tyler, a spot that I could only wish to have in this lifetime.
I bet she's purposely done it to get attention. What a bitch.
Lyra said in contempt after our parents returned to their seats for the next part of the program. Tyler has also been taken care of by the medic on standby.
I don't get it. Why would they fall for someone like her? Scott, Lucian, and Quentin. All three of them love that woman. What's so special about her? She's mean and a snake in a sheep's clothing. Why would they rush to her when she doesn't even deserve them?
The bond doesn't discriminate, Lyra. They're mates for a reason, I answered, my eyes looking for Quentin, who carried Tyler into a makeshift clinic nearby.
I would never understand whatever reason is that. Why is she even here? Such a thick-faced girl. If she has any ounce of humility in her body, then she wouldn't even think of coming here. Gosh, she's an ex for a reason. At least have some decency to distance yourself.
I smiled at her and swung my arm around her shoulder. It's okay. I would be a part of your family, so I have also come to terms with the fact that Tyler will be a constant sighting because of her ties with your three brothers.
But you are now Quentin's wife. Freya, aren't you even threatened about this? Would you let that woman ruin your marriage because I know that's her intention from the very start?
I'm confident that Quentin will stay true to his words, Lyra. He said it during the vow, he will protect me. That includes my feelings, Lyra. She took my hands and squeezed them.
You can be confident with Quent, but not with Tyler. She can be the most cunning woman, Freya. Trust me when I tell you that she will do everything to steal my brother from you. Mark my words.
The next part of the wedding ceremony began. Our first dance as a couple.
I'm sorry for what happened earlier.
Quentin apologized when we were already in the middle of the hall, just meters away from the beach, dancing to the sweet rhythm of the tune coming from the hired orchestra.
I was just too worried about Tyler. She's got a low immune system, so she faints often. I didn't mean to offend you on the day of our wedding, Freya.
It's okay, Quentin. I perfectly understand. She's your mate. It's natural for you to feel concerned with her. I nodded, tightening my arms around his neck while staring at his blue eyes.
But still,
he pressed me closer to him, causing me to feel every hard ridge of his body.
I've upset you. It's supposed to be our special day, but it did not go as we expected.
I'm really okay, Quint. Things like that are beyond our control. What's important is Tyler's okay now, and we have the rest of the day to enjoy the wedding. I stopped when his eyes became filled with something else I couldn't put a name into. Of course, for the sake of our families and the guests. I finished my sentence to keep him from thinking that I meant another thing. He flashed a smile and compressed his grasp on my waist.
Thank you for being so understanding, Freya.
I just leaned my head on his chest and closed my eyes. Being this close to Quentin after being officially married to him while the ocean wind is kissing our faces just magically chased my worries away. But out of nowhere, Tyler appears with Scott dancing suggestively against his body. Her eyes were on Quentin, who just sighed and looked away. His hands on my waist gradually losing its grip. I let him casually move us away from the couple. But Tyler is too persistent to spoil our night by following us. BRB. From then on, Quentin tried to look unaffected. But him stealing glances at Tyler shows how he lost his cool, after which we were whipped into the huge yacht for the dinner party. The personal chefs were still cooking the menu, so we helped ourselves with a glass of champagne talking with Lyra, Clara, and Amelia. Quentin is on the other side of the deck busy chatting with the boys.
Let me tell you guys about something. Freya, our family has a peculiar tradition.
New married couples like you and Quent must bathe together in the lake on the island where we're going next at exactly midnight. They do this ritual so that the two of you will stay bonded forever and ever, Lila explained.
No big deal.
Clara shrugged.
It's just like swimming in a public pool with just two of you.
Yeah, no biggie.
Amelia agreed.
What makes it peculiar?
Lila grinned and gazed at me.
But the catch is, they have to bathe together naked.
I almost choke in my drink upon hearing it. What? Me and Quint together bathing naked on that lake. That would be a torture for both of us? It would be so awkward. I can only imagine how that intimate scene would make me a ripe tomato in front of him. It would be so much better to do it if we're in love with each other, but I'm unfortunate enough to be the only one in love.
So Freya, are you ready to go skinny dipping with Quentin?
Clara teased me. I can only reply with a hiccup, which earned a hearty laugh from them. Freya's pavie.
Here, you try this white one.
Lila threw a pair of lacy underwear on my lap from my baggage that was specially packed by my mother and continued rummaging from the inside. She lugged me into my room in the yacht after talking about their family's special tradition in the lake with everybody. I have to try this. I grimaced when I held the underwear over my head and remembered that this has the same fabric and design with what I wore when Quentin walked in on me in his room during the photo shoot. I can't wear it, Lila. I just can't. I protested and put them back on the luggage.
Oh, you want a sexier one? How about this?
She gave me another one, but this time. The design is too vulgar, leaving nothing to one's imagination. The two cups of the brassiere are butterfly-shaped, and instead of the usual bikini bottom, this one is a thong. A freaking thong. Lila, no. I said a little too high, and why would I need this for? Sitting next to me on the floor, she beckoned the pair of bikinis and pointed at me.
You have to wear this to make Quentin want you more. Did you see his face when he saw you in your wedding dress? He's blown away, Freya. What more if he would see you wearing nothing but this? He'd be a mad dog.
But isn't it too much? He would think I'm seducing him. Lila put her arm on my shoulder.
Think about this way. What's wrong with wearing this for Quentin to see? One way or another, both of you are going to see each other naked in the lake later and in bed for your honeymoon.
Honeymoon. My eyes widened.
Yeah, honeymoon. Of course you guys will go on a honeymoon trip and enjoy yourselves up to your heart's content.
She picked up the panties and put them on my hand.
Wear this under your dress. Trust me on this, Freya. This will make any man want you, including Quent. You're a massively attractive babe. You only need a little boost, a little push to the right direction, and this is it.
I was deeply moved by how Lila took an extra mile to convince me. We're not that close. We've only just started talking after the announcement of my marriage with her brother. After that, we just clicked and the rest is history. She's motivated me not to give up on this marriage. Thank you for doing this, Lila. I don't have any siblings, so it's all very new to me. Thank God I have you to cheer me up, he said in between teary eyes.
You are most welcome, Freya. Now, go change. It's time to reclaim your husband.
Whatever confidence I had in my room during my conversation with Lyra evaporated after we went back to the deck to rejoin the guests. On the far side of the yacht, away from most of us, were Quentin and Tyler. They're too close to each other. I thought they're about to kiss if they have enough privacy without considering the scandal it will cause.
Why? What's wrong?
She followed my gaze and cursed.
What the fuck, Quentin? Oh.
She covered her mouth and looked at me, worried for my feelings.
Gosh, I can't with her.
All three of them turned to me.
I'm honestly fed up with her. I want to pull every strand of her hair and burn them all, and the stupid man ain't thinking. How insensitive. It's your wedding day, so he should be with you, and not with that witch. I told you, Freya, Tyler will do anything to get Quentin. She's so shameless. Look at how she openly flirts with your husband. If I were you, I'd run to them and show her who's the real boss.
Lyra nabbed the bottle of beer from Clara's hand and drank it down.
Are you just going to sit here, Freya? Won't you do anything?
No, I don't like confrontation. Just let them be.
But look at them. They look more married than you do.
I spun back into their direction where they're still talking without a care in the world. The familiar kick of jealousy rose from within me at the sight of Tyler touching Quentin's arm. I've been more than understanding of the two before this wedding because I know how difficult it is to be in their situation. But the disrespect I'm seeing is beyond what I had imagined. I can't take it anymore. I'm too jealous to just look at them and do nothing. It's time for me to stake my claim on my husband. That felt so good to say. Lyra, can you give me some drinks? I gestured my hand while my eyes were glued on Quentin and Tyler.
Sure, here you go.
I gulped the content of the bottle and wiped my mouth.
Freya, look at us.
Carla took my hand.
You got this. Show that Tyler who is the wife. Go and get your husband, sissy.
You go, girl.
Amelia encouraged.
Don't let them make a fool out of you. Seize your man from that bitch.
I need more drinks, please. 1 bottle became 2, that turned to 6, until I felt light again, like what I had experienced during Clara's party.
Now go, Freya. We'll be here as you're back.
Thank you, guys. With a newfound courage, I stood up and approached the two. Hey, Quent. I wrapped my arms around his neck in front of a shocked Tyler and smiled seductively at my husband.
Hey, Freya.
He supported my back and smelled my neck.
You're drinking.
A bit. Quent, I think I forgot to tell you something.
Really? What is it?
He leaned closer to me. I angled my face an inch from his lips and whispered softly that you are mine. You are mine. Quent, only mine. Without thinking twice, I drew him in forcefully and crushed his lips with mine.
Quentin's pose.
You are mine. You are mine, Quent, only mine.
She kissed me after saying that. At first, I was stiff, not knowing how to handle the kiss. If I respond, would it be considered as taking advantage because I can taste the bitter taste of alcohol in her mouth? My first reaction is to make sure she won't fall, so I secured her body by encircling my arms around her waist. I was about to pull up away from her, but her innocent moans, coupled with her inexpert ways of kissing me, pushed that button and turned me on so that I found myself taking over the kiss and leading her the proper way. I gently brushed aside her hair away from her face so I could hold her in place to nip her sweet lips, play with her soft tongue, and feel her warm body against the growing hard-on down below.
Quentin, stop. Stop it. The two of you.
Tyler screamed, struck by the fact that I got carried away and kissed Freya without thinking that we're in front of Tyler. I stopped the kiss and cautiously put Freya behind me to protect her in case Tyler does something.
What is this, Quent? You're kissing her in front of me. Are you serious? Is this fucking serious?
Tyler started tearing up, her hands trembling in fury.
How could you do this to me? She's just your wife on paper while I'm the one who you really love. Why did you have to do it on my face? What's your point?
I looked around to see if anybody saw us. Luckily, no one's on the deck at all. Lyra and her friends were on the other end, completely oblivious of what's going on here. I don't want to see our names blowing up again online for bad reasons. Relieved, I checked up on Freya on my back, who has already buried her face on my shirt. Look, Tyler, I'm sorry, but I think you need to get inside. The food's ready. Scott and Lucian might look for you too.
I don't care, Quint. I don't care about food or Scott and Lucian. All I care about is you. Leave Freya now and come to me. Quint.
She expected me to do what she said, but I remained rooted in my feet, lending a hand to the woman beside me. I can't leave my wife alone. She's drunk and I've witnessed how she can be so reckless with her actions. I can't. I have to take care of Freya. But Tyler was stubborn. She remained in her spot, still livid about witnessing me kiss my wife.
Why did you do it, Quint? Do you like her now? Tell me?
I sighed. Sometimes it's really hard to talk with her, or maybe I just don't want to answer her question because I don't even know the right answer. If you don't want to go inside, then you stay here. I have to get Freya into her room. She's drunk already. I braced my arm around Freya's back while the other one went about under her butt and carried her on my shoulder.
No, Quentin. You just can't leave me like this. We're still talking.
I didn't answer her at all and proceeded to our room in the yacht. My mother gave us the biggest one in preparation for the ritual at the lake at midnight we're going to partake. It's a century-old tradition in our families where newly married couples dipped into the lake naked to maintain the bond between them, gently setting her on the bed. I sprawled next to her and cupped her moving face so that we could look each other straight in the eyes. Why did you do it? Tell me, Freya. I coaxed her. She hugged a pillow and sucked a deep breath.
Because you are with her when you should be with me instead. I'm your wife, Quint. It's our wedding and you're busy with her. I kissed you because you're spending time with her.
Shocked because I never thought that she's looking at us earlier, I took the throw pillow from her hand and raised her chin. I thought she's busy talking with her friends. And what does she mean with her last words? She kissed me because she's upset that I'm with Tyler. We were just talking. I've never done anything that could upset you. There are eyes around, Freya. I can't make a scene again or else we will both be in trouble. Freya narrowed her eyes at me and pouted her lips, pissed by what I said.
Why are you even asking about me kissing you? What's wrong with kissing my husband, Quint? Is it a capital sin? We're married, it's supposed to be natural. You can kiss me too. Come on, wait, don't tell me you don't like kissing me.
I didn't say that. I said a little too quickly. Palming my face, I patted her head and sighed. Talking with a drunk person isn't the best way to clear out a misunderstanding. I'll wait later when she's sobered up. You rest here for a while. We're almost on the island. You can't possibly swim in this condition.
It's okay.
She softly murmured, closing her eyes.
You're there for me, Quint.
When I realized that I haven't clarified what she meant about her kissing me because I'm with Tyler, I caressed her arm to ask her, Frey, what do you mean when you said that you kissed me because I'm with Tyler? Are you uncomfortable with it? Did you have another fight? What did she do to you? Come on, tell me. She opened her eyes and stared down at my lips.
Well, I did it because I'm
Before she could complete what she's trying to say, a knock interrupted us, followed by my mom's voice.
Quentin, Freya, it's time to prepare for the ritual in the lake. We're already here on the island. Come out now.
Quentin's povey. Since Freya is still intoxicated and it would be too dangerous for her to walk on a slippery trail towards the lake, I decided to carry her again. The yacht is parked on the shore while the lake is in the center of the island, so we have to travel by jeep to get here. We're both wearing a robe without any clothing inside. That should be the rule, but I was too embarrassed to take off her underwear, so I just banded her with a robe and shipped her to the jeep.
You can put me down. I can walk. I'm too heavy.
She fussed over me, swinging her like a sack of rice while we traversed the night, guided only by the light of the moon up above. I'm not even complaining. And who said you're heavy? You're too slim. I jokingly spanked her legs, but it's too late for me to realize that it's her ass I just touched. I'm sorry, I said, clearing my throat. That was uncalled for.
It's okay.
She replied in a small, hoarse voice.
You can do it again.
What? I stopped walking to look at her. Did I hear her right? What did you say?
I said you can put me down. We're already in the lake.
Bewildered, because I'm sure that's not what she said. I slowly put her down and walked with her close to me because she's still lightheaded. When we reached the lake, I turned my back so that she could take off her robe. You can undress now. Use my shoulder as support. I promise I won't look. Frey, did you H? I wasn't able to finish my sentence because she already removed her robe and was untying her bikini. I turned my back instantly, trying not to look at her body, but she's wearing something so tempting underneath that I can't help but peep over my shoulder again. Those butterfly cups barely even covered her full breasts and that triangle-shaped front of her panty. Wait, is that a thong she's wearing? I swallowed hard and closed my eyes, berating myself for even staring. I'm taking advantage of the situation by crying out loud, "Hey, are you done? If so, you can take a dip first into the water. I'll follow you later."
Okay, but I need you to hold me. I might fall.
Without looking, I gave her my hand and started walking slowly towards the water. When I heard the splash of water, I immediately got rid of my robe and joined her in the lake. But I'm keeping a safe distance to save her from harm that I could afflict her for being too sinfully gorgeous in my eyes. Forcing myself to admire the moon in the sky, I swam to the opposite side to let off some steam. The cold temperature of water somehow calms down the raging flame inside me.
What's so special about this lake, Quint? There's also a lake in your village. We could have taken a bath there.
I rested my head on a stone and glanced at Freya, whose blushed face looked more enticing under the glow of the moonlight. This island is very important to the history of my clan, Freya. This is where generations of blacks swam to keep the bond growing with their mates.
But we're not really mates, are we? We're just arranged to be married.
Our marriage is like a binding ceremony, and bathing here will develop a bond between us like true mates, I explained.
True mates?
She repeated, hinting a tinge of sadness in her voice.
You say that this ritual could make our bond like we're true mates, but why aren't you even looking at me, Quentin? Am I not beautiful in your eyes?
My jaw clenched. Free, stop it while I can still hold back myself. You're playing a dangerous game that you might regret later. But to my immense shock, she took my hand and put it on her one taut breast.
Who says you should hold back? Come on, Quint. Anything I do with you will never be a regrettable thing to do.
I gazed at Freya's face. She looked so bold saying that as if she really means it.
Come on, Quint,
she said in the most alluring way that I felt like being enchanted. I have no reason to refuse when this goddess wants me to touch her. I looked down at her two proud breasts perched out fully and jiggling a bit under my hands. My manhood's reaction is instant. It squirmed against the cold as I began cupping her bosom and rolling my fingers over her pink nipples, but I stopped afterwards.
Oh please, Quint, touch me more,
she begged, her mouth parted asking for more. Freya, you're drunk. It's not right if we do this. You're not in your proper mind.
I am in my proper mind and I want you to kiss me now.
That's it. I would never want to beg her for me to do something that I want to do with her anyway. With a growl, I hauled into her and kissed her as hard as I could to show her that I wasn't satisfied with our kiss in the wedding and the kiss she initiated earlier. My hands fisted on her hair, holding her in place, while my mouth now tenderly brushed her lips back and forth, running my hands down her chest. I played with her breasts again, squeezing them in my palms, touching them restlessly. As if that wasn't enough, I slid them down over her butt cheeks to her thighs, then up again.
Quentin.
I moved hastily to hide Freya's nakedness behind my body upon hearing Scott's voice. What?
We have to go back. Ethan and guest girl are missing. We have to join the rescue operation now.
Quentin's paw. Wait, we're coming. I wrapped a robe over Freya's body and told her I need to talk to Scott first. After I made sure she's okay, I came out of the water and made my way to Scott, who had just gotten out of the Jeep with a worried look on his face. What happened, Scott?
2 of the guests went missing from the yacht. Ethan and that mysterious girl suddenly disappeared without a trace. Mom and Dad told them not to explore the island before the ritual ends, but just this hour. We noticed they're gone from their room. Maybe they're lost or whatever. I think you both need to go back for safety purposes. We're also going for a search and rescue operation. The guys have signed up. Are you in?
Mystery girl. I thought we knew every one of the guests who attended our wedding. Of course I am. I just need to ensure Freya is safe in the house. She's drunk. I'll take her home first.
8. I'd go back now. We need to search the area as soon as possible. This is our ancestors' island. For strangers, this place could be dangerous.
I nodded. Scott was right. This island is quite dangerous, especially for strangers like the guests who don't know the way. There could be hidden traps somewhere, and a possibility of our enemies from other Rogues clans infiltrating this area. Take care. We'd be right behind. Scott got back up behind the wheels and sped away. I went back to Freya, her lower body still submerged in the water. Her eyes were closed, and she had no idea that I'm staring at her, admiring her raw beauty under the majestic light of the moon. If Scott hadn't come, we could have taken our relationship to another level. The thought didn't create any negative feelings in me. In fact, I'm quite fine with it. Being with Freya these past few weeks made me more accustomed to her. I slowly opened up to her, and despite my reservations at times, I find myself liking her as a person. Her past actions puzzled me. She's shy with me most of the time, but then she gets so energetic and bold with me when she has a drink. I'm afraid all this persona she's making is only due to the influence of alcohol. The thought made me awake at the possibility that Freya is being like this to me because she's drunk.
What happened, Quent?
2 of the guests went missing suddenly. No one knows where they'd go, so we have to assemble a search and rescue team as soon as possible. The sun has not risen yet, and it could be really dangerous for both of them if they stayed here for the whole night.
A search and rescue operation.
She mumbled before looking away and being distant. Why, what's wrong? Anything wrong? You're not feeling good? You're dizzy. Wanna vomit? Should I pull up? She shook her head but didn't look at me.
No, I'm good. I'm all right.
I know something's not right. What did I say that could have caused her to act like this? I reviewed what I told her. I just repeated what Scott told me. What part in there could have triggered this kind of reaction from her? Confused because she's suddenly giving me a cold shoulder. I glanced at her side, but she's focusing her eyes too much on the road. Are you sure you're okay? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something you don't like? Again, she didn't reply. She just shook her head in denial. I just let her because I'm thinking that she's just tired. Or maybe she just wanted to doze off and can't sleep because I kept on talking. I relaxed at the thought. After a while, I looked at her again. She's not sleeping. Her eyes are still outside the car, deep in thoughts. I stopped myself from asking why again. I don't want to annoy her by asking the same question over and over again. A few more minutes before we arrived at the house, her silent treatment of me bothered me more than I could imagine. Before I could even scold myself, I stopped the engine and turned to Freya, who didn't even budge on her seat. Are you okay, Freya? You haven't talked to me since the time I told you about the incident. Is there any problem? You're not feeling well.
No, I'm all right. Just take me to the house.
I knew then that something is really not right. She's upset and it frustrates me because I don't know what the hell I did wrong. I kept asking her, but she won't respond to me anymore. I parked beside Scott's Jeep. Freya hurriedly climbed out of the car, but I was faster than her. I was able to block her and cornered her between the seats. I won't let you go until you tell me what's wrong. No, really. I'm serious. I'm not letting you get inside the house without telling me what happened. Please. But Freya is inconvincible. She averted her eyes and won't answer me. Please, Frey, tell me why you unexpectedly turned cold out of the blue. Did you change your mind? Did you regret what we did? Are you ashamed about it?
No, I'm not,
she said meekly. Then what's wrong? What did I do wrong? Come on, tell me. I don't want to end this special day like this. We already started on a good note. I can't waste it. She struggled to meet my eyes, so I cradled her face in my hands. Please tell me what it is. I can't forever guess what's on your mind.
I know,
she finally answered.
I just don't want you to go. Please don't go to Tyler tonight. Quent.
She whispered truthfully, a ray of desperation and sadness in her low voice. The first thing I felt after hearing her answer is shock and then confusion right after. Why would she think that I would go to Tyler when I told her that I'm going to the search and rescue operation for the 2 missing guests? What? I wouldn't go to Tyler. I will join in searching for the 2 missing guests. I know the area better than the others. I've spent a considerable time here when I was young, so I know the terrain best. With me around, we could have a better chance to find them. And what made you think I will go to her, Freya? I waited for her to answer me, but she just looked down and closed her mouth. I waited for her to answer me, but she just looked down and closed her mouth. That feeling confusion came back. Why did she suddenly become bothered with Tyler? I have to smack myself for even asking that. Of course, she would be worried for Tyler and me being together again. I made all the reasons why she would be wary of her. Things have drastically changed now. We're officially married and we're in the middle of celebrating it. If guests see us together, they might think we're cheating behind Freya on the night of our wedding. I could only imagine other rumors they could produce from that scene alone. Freya must have just been thinking about our reputation. She doesn't want us to be embroiled in yet another controversy again. That's why she's asking me not to go to Tyler tonight. I understand why you're doing this. You're protecting our names that could be dragged again in another mess, but Frey, let me assure you that I'm not going to Tyler tonight. I swear, I'm just going to help the rescuers and the other volunteers to look for the missing people. Come on, believe me. I'm telling you the truth. Finally, she met my eyes and nodded with a small smile at the end of her mouth. I released a heavy sigh and tapped her head. Finally.
If you're going, then I'm going to. I wanted to help find them. They're my guests too,
she said after a while. I stepped back to give her some space and then carried her into my arms.
Quent, put me down. I can walk now. Don't treat me like I'm incapable,
she complained. No, you're still drunk. You might trip or do something stupid again. Let me take care of you first before I go.
But I wanted to go to you.
No, you stay here in the room and sleep. Take a rest. Today was an exhausting one. We've traveled across the seas for hours, and I can't let you go with us into the woods. It would be dangerous. Who knows what would happen? You stay here? It's safer here?
How about you? You said it would be dangerous.
She uttered in worry. And take care of myself. We're all men in the group who can easily call for our wolves inside us. Apart from that, we're all trained to do this, Freya. We're all strong, so no need to worry about us. I'll be back here before sunrise. She fell silent before nodding.
I understand. Please take care, Quent.
I will. Now go to sleep. I turned off the lights and went out of the room in a hurry. If I don't, then I could really kiss her again and again. Her lips looked so inviting talking back in the room. Turning up into the hallway, I bumped into Tyler, who pulled me into the door of her room, but she wasn't successful when I told her that I cannot talk to her today.
How could you kiss her in front of me?
She started right away.
Don't you dare deny it. You responded to her. I saw it with my own eyes.
I'm not denying it, I replied coldly. Freya's drunk. She's just actually thinking about us, how we could be entangled in a rumor again, so she did that to save us.
I still love you, Quent. My feelings are clearer this time. I know you still love me too. I can feel it. I love you, Quentin Black. I love you so much, my mate.
That's the scene that Freya walked us into. With a betrayed expression on her face, she turned her back to us to return to our room. Freya, Frey, it's not what you think. I ran towards her and were able to obstruct the door with my hand before she could close it. Frey, I'm telling you the truth. It's not what you think. She just wants to talk with me. You're misunderstanding things. Her face says she's not convinced. Worse is, I can read in her eyes that she believes I'm lying.
I saw what I saw, Quent. In the end, it'll always be Tyler. You lied to me. You know what? You don't really have to explain to me. Get back to Tyler. Don't worry about me.
She shut off the door right in my face. I banged on it, called for her again and again until my voice gets raspy, but she never opened the door. Look what you did. Now what would I tell her this time to make her believe that I'm not lying to her? Frustrated and scared, I lashed at Tyler, who stood there unapologetic with what happened. She didn't even care to clear out to Freya about her misconception of seeing us both. Tyler's eyes squinted and tears making me feel guilty for raising my voice at her.
You've changed, Quent. You've completely changed after marrying Freya. You broke the promise you gave me as your mate.
You promised we would be forever, but look what happened now. It pains me to say this, but you're not the man that I used to love so much anymore.
Quentin's pawed. I wasn't the only one who changed, Tyler. Both of us did. Now please, excuse me. I need to talk to Freya. I went back in front of the door to knock. Frey, please open it. We need to talk. It's not really what you think. I'm not lying. Please open the door. Let's talk, please. It's just a misunderstanding. No answer. She's completely ignored me. I didn't give up. I continued talking, persuading her to talk to me.
Go away, Quent. Leave me alone.
Perhaps it's better to give her time to think. All throughout the night, I kept nagging at her, asking her what's wrong. It fed her up so she would naturally act like this. Okay? I'll leave you alone now, but we'll talk tomorrow. I will settle this misunderstanding. The sooner, the better. I'm going now to the rescue operation. Don't worry, we'll all be fine. Good night, Freya. I briskly walked past Tyler, who followed me into the living room.
See what Freya is really like, Quent. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't even want to hear your explanation at all. She's full of doubts. She's a rich brat who only wants to listen to herself. Can you really live the rest of your life with a woman like that? I'm the only one who cares about you. I will fight for you, Quint. I will fight for our love.
Snapping, I faced her and breathed hard. Tyler, please go back and rest. I need to go now.
But, Quint.
Please, I don't have the energy to do this anymore. We'll talk this out. I need to go. I didn't wait for her answer. I boarded my Jeep and drove into our point of rendezvous where the team, including Scott, Lucian, and Lyra, who insisted on coming, were already assembled. We didn't waste time. Any second that we spent lounging around could be a waiting death game for the missing guests. We already know the missing woman. She's Freya's friend, maybe one of the friends she met at a party. Lyra transformed her face into a wolf to activate her super smell ability while traversing deep into the forests. She stopped at a spot at the heart of the foliage and went down to smell the soil.
This is clearly the work of someone who knows magic. It's definitely witchcraft performed by a witch or someone who knows how to use one. These footsteps, I can still smell the stink they left on the way.
Lyra informed them and warned them afterwards.
Be alert, everybody. They could have left a trap made out of magic that is harmful to us.
All of us were cautious as we tread the forest floors. Witches and humans who have a way with witchcraft are the biggest enemies of werewolves. They could kill us, imprison us, and maim us using their magic alone. As we approached the end tip of the island, a piece of paper stashed on a tree was caught by my super eyes. Jumping at the tree and taking it in a precise swoop, I opened the small paper which revealed a threatening note. We have Morris's baby. Make one wrong move and expect to see how we turn it into dust and deliver it to your doorstep. We went all silent, overwhelmed by the heavy obstacle ahead of us. This is actually bigger than what we've initially thought.
Freya's porch, I woke up feeling sordid all over. My head is yet again having a war with my own bones. It's being barged by a hammer this time. I tried to recall what happened last night, but my head is an empty slate again, unlike the other times when I was drunk, where there were some snippets that gave me small hints. Now it is completely far worse. I was so drunk that I could not remember anything at all. The door opened and Lyra came in carrying a cup of tea for me. Thank you. I took a sip and felt myself being transported directly to heaven. Gosh, that's so refreshing.
Glad you're awake now. You remembered what you did last night?
She teased me, feeling uneasy and nervous at the same time. I bit my finger and shook my head. What did the great spirit of alcohol make me do this time?
Oh, so you don't remember kissing Quentin in front of everybody?
What I did? I shrieked. Memories start coming back to me. The jealousy when I saw Quentin and Tyler together, the kiss and the bathing at the lake, everything flooded my brain. A last memory left a bitter taste in my mouth. Quentin lied to me because she met up with Tyler after he promised me he wouldn't. The guests, have they found them already?
No, unfortunately not yet.
Upset because of what happened, I decided to divert my mind. Then I joined the mission. Lyra, I'll help.
No, you won't.
Quentin, who just came in the door carrying a tray with food, strongly disapproved.
You won't be joining us, Freya. It's too dangerous. There's magic involved in this. I can't risk your safety.
With a raised head, I confidently faced him with a stubborn heart. I will. And just like you, I can also take care of myself. No need to treat me like a liability. I have my wolf in me. I can also shapeshift, and I have enough knowledge about witchcraft. There's no reason not to let me help.
There is, he claimed after setting the tray down on the table. Your safety is my topmost priority. I can't let you go there. It's too risky. No one knows what lies in there. Please, Freya, leave it to us. Stay here where you're safe.
No, I won't just stay here and wait for the news. I've made up my mind, Quentin. I'll go with the team. I'll help find those missing guests and rescue the kidnapped baby. I can do it, and no one should say otherwise. But Freya, I looked him dead in the eyes. No buts, Quentin. I'll go whether you like it or not. Nothing you say or do will make me change my mind. I badly want to help in rescuing that baby. Sensing a different energy around me, he zipped off his mouth and stopped arguing with me. After preparing everything I'll be needing for the hike into the forest, I popped up a medicine to help with my headache. If I had a choice, I would like to drive my own Jeep or ride with Lyra, but I don't want them to be suspicious about our relationship. I don't want them to know that I had another falling out with Quentin. During the trip, I can feel his glances at me. He made sure I would feel his presence by helping with the seatbelt, asking if I'm really all right or if I was hungry or thirsty. At some point in time, he made it clear to me that he wanted to clarify a misunderstanding last night.
I didn't go to Tyler last night. What you saw is purely just coincidence. She went to me to talk to me, but I refused. That's because I promised you I won't. I didn't break my promise, Freya.
But it's already too late. I blocked him out of my thoughts by plugging in my earphones. There are times when he had to stop to change a route because of a huge amount of debris on the way. He would talk with me, but I would just ignore him. After arriving at a spot to rest for a while, Quentin left me for a bit to get the equipment, supplies, and food from Lucien since he has the biggest Jeep.
Stay here. I'll be back.
He brushed my hair and then ran towards his brother, who's been looking our way since the second we showed up. Leaning in the backrest, I massaged my head, which still throbbed. While picking up my bag to get some medicine, I got a message from Tyler. I'm thinking twice whether to read it or not. I don't want to further add some more negativity to my already bad day. In the end, I decided to click it out of curiosity.
Listen to this clip, Freya. This will make you open your eyes about your so-called marriage with my boyfriend.
I glanced at Quentin from afar, who is still busy talking with Lucien before I put back on my earphones and clicked on the attached clip of recording.
Tyler, please understand our situation. I don't have any choice but to marry Freya. My hands are tied.
I stiffened when I heard Quentin's voice.
How about our plans, Quent? How about the dreams that we made together?
Tyler is already crying.
I will still fulfill them with you. Don't worry.
His voice became gentle and soothing. I never heard him use it on me or anyone in his family. Maybe it's only exclusive for Tyler.
But how? You're marrying her.
How about this? Let me again make you a promise, Tyler. I promise you that you'll always come first, whatever happens. I won't look at Freya as a woman. You're the only woman I love and you are my mate, so I would never fall for her. There's no chance that I would ever love her.
I paused the clip when my chest started to tighten in its cage. My heart beat wildly and I felt my stomach twisting in agony. I pocketed my phone to inhale some air. We're in the middle of the forest full of fresh air, but my head is muddled by a lack of focus. When I got my courage back, I resumed listening to the clip.
Is that it?
Tyler barked.
Nothing more?
I also promise to never consummate our marriage. I will never sleep with Freya. There are a number of certain marital traditions I could invoke to avoid going into bed with her. I'm willing to do this for you, Tyler. That's how much I love you.
A tear fell off my eye.
You're everything to me, Tyler. I do everything for you.
I ended the clip and rubbed out my eyes. My mind dove into the memories in the lake. I remembered how he responded with my kisses passionately, and with the same fervor that I initiated. He made me feel so beautiful with the way he looked at my body admiringly. And when he touched me, I finally felt that kind of connection between us. I'm not the only one who felt that spark. Mates desire each other. I'm sure he felt it too. That's why he gave in to that sexual urge. Doesn't that mean anything to him? Is he just pretending to like me because he pities me? He doesn't want to outrightly reject me because he's considering my feelings. Is that it, Quentin? He only did it out of his duty as my husband. He felt somehow responsible for my happiness. That's why he indulged me with some kisses and hugs. Is this the reason why he's always hurrying to leave me? Whenever we're being too intimate with each other, he promised Tyler that he'll never sleep with me. He needs to keep that promise no matter what. But he promised me too, right? He said the vow, he will not reject me. He also promised me that he will not go to Tyler, but he did it anyway. But why would I be surprised? His promise to me meant nothing. It was just purely words, with no intent of meaning behind it. Why didn't it occur to me yesterday that promise he made with Tyler always comes first, just like his love for her at our wedding? I promised myself that I would fight for this marriage. But how can I fight for a war that's already ended? Our relationship, this marriage, whatever it is over before it even begins. As he walked to me, smiling while carrying the food for me, his voice recording kept ringing on my head. This just killed all of my hope for a relationship to blossom between us.